What's up, my stat stars? Let's take a look at the fifth free response question from the 2026 AP Statistics exam. Now, this was a multi-focus question that dealt with a two-way table, asked a little bit of probability, and then talked a little bit about a potential chi-square test. Now, the data dealt with different ages and the ability to play different sports, basketball, football, baseball. So it ended up being a pretty easy question in terms of probability, hopefully, and then it dived into a little bit of an inference procedure. So let's take a look at it right now so you can know exactly what you needed to have to get full credit. Question 5 is about a researcher who's investigating whether there's an association among professional athletes between age group and the type of sport they play. So the age group and type of sport are played for all 4,193 professional athletes in these sports for a recent year is given the two-way table. So we ask all professional athletes that play basketball, football, or baseball in this particular year. So we see it's broken up by how many said baseball, football, or basketball. And then we also see their age, less than 25, between 25 and 30, between 30 and 35, or greater than or equal to 35. Now, part A asks two questions. The first one, single I, says, what is the probability a randomly selected professional athlete is a football player? This is a marginal distribution. All we want to know is, of all the people here, what proportion are football players? So there's 4,193 total athletes, and 2,461 of them play football. So divide and conquer, we get 0.587. So 58.7% of all professional athletes this year that played basketball, football, or baseball were football players. Now, part double I says, what is the probability that a randomly selected professional athlete is in the age group of 25 to 30, given that they are a football player? So that given is where we realize we have a conditional probability. So we're asked to find the probability that they are 25 to 30, but there's that condition, so we have that line there that they play football. This means that I'm only allowed to look at this column right here of all of the football players. I'm not allowed to look anywhere else because the given was they had to play football. So of the 2,461 football players, the conditional probability or conditional proportion formula, my denominator is based on that condition. So of those 2,461 football players, 1,326 of them were in that age group right here, which was 25 to 30. So now if we divide 1,326 divided by 2,461, we get 0.539. So 53.9% of the football players were 25 to 30. All right, and now moving on to part B. A mosaic plot was constructed using the information in the two-way table. Use the mosaic plot to answer the following questions. Now, first off, a mosaic plot is basically a segmented bar graph. So we see basketball, we see the different segments for the different age groups of the basketball players. Same for football, same for baseball. But what we add here is a width, and the width corresponds to the fact that what is the size of that particular group? So we see back in our two-way table that we had way more football players than any other sports. That's why the football player bar is wider, because it represents a bigger proportion of total people. So that's the whole point of a mosaic plot. Now, the basketball players, this particular year, there's only 516 of them. That's why their bar was so skinny. All right, so here are the questions. The B and the H displayed in the mosaic plot each represent a probability calculated in part A. Which probability does B correspond to? The probability calculated in part A or the probability calculated in part A double I? So if we go back here, we see that we have this X equals B times H, where H is the height and B is the width. So B represents the proportion of football players, because that's the horizontal, right? That's the categorical of basketball, football, or baseball. So that's why we see wider, because there was more football players. So that means that B corresponds to the probability of a randomly selected professional athlete being a football player, which was the probability that we found in part A single I. And again, that's because it was the width, right? And that is showing that, hey, the whole line all the way from here to here represents all of the athletes. And we see that the football is much wider because, well, more football players came from there. And that, again, that's what that's representing, is that actual proportion of all of the football players. Now, double I asks us, what probability does the X represent in the mosaic plot? So the X is the B times H. We got to make sure we understand this. B is what we calculated in part A single I, the proportion of all professional athletes that were football players. H represents the conditional probability of the football players, what proportion are age 25 to 30. That was what we found in part A double I. If we multiply those together, what we're going to get is the overlap, the joint probability. That is the probability of all of the professional athletes that the person selected both plays football and is the 25 to 30 age group. Now, what we could see is in the original table, that value would be this value right here, 1,326 divided by 4,193, which is about 0.316, about 31.6% of all athletes are either football, are football and in the 25 to 30 age group. So here's what I wrote for that. X corresponds to the probability that of all professional athletes, the one that is selected plays football and is between the ages of 25 to 30. Again, that probability is about 0.316. But again, that's what they're doing. We're taking the two answers that we found back in part A, I and double I, multiplying together, and that gives us that joint probability of both football and being between the ages of 25 and 30. All right, finally, part C, or not finally, there's actually two more parts left. Part C says, use the information to answer the following questions. Single I, are the events baseball and greater than or equal to 35 mutually exclusive events? Remember, mutually exclusive means that the two events cannot happen at the same time. So the answer to this one is actually pretty simple. No, the events baseball and greater than or equal to 35 are not mutually exclusive. And this can easily be seen because in the table, there are 61 total professional athletes who both play baseball and are 35 or older. Mutually exclusive would imply that there were no athletes that both played baseball and were 35 or older. So the fact that we got 61 means that they are not mutually exclusive because there is definitely that overlap. All right, the second question, double I, says, are the events baseball and greater than or equal to 35 independent events? So to analyze this, we really have to take a deep dive into the table. Now, here's what I wrote down. So I'm going to go over the answer first, and I'll actually talk about how I got it all. All right, I wrote down no. The events baseball and 35 or being 35 or older are not independent events. 29% of all athletes are baseball players. However, of those 35 or older, 50.4% are baseball players, showing that if an athlete is 35 or older, they are more likely to be a baseball player. Now, here's how I actually calculated this probabilities to prove this, right? What we're doing is I'm comparing the probability of a baseball compared to the probability of a baseball with the added condition. If that added condition does not change the probability of a baseball player being picked, that means they are independent, but what we see is a major change. So of all the athletes, 29% of them are baseball players. That was just the 1,216 divided by 4,193. But the moment we gave a restriction or a condition that you must be in that 35 plus age group, 61 of those 121 athletes are baseball players, showing that of all of the older athletes, 35 or older, 50% of them are baseball players. So that means that these two things are not independent. Clearly, if you are older, if you're a professional athlete and you're older, you're way more likely to be a baseball player than any other sport. Basketball is way less likely and football is less likely as well, especially compared to baseball. Now, you also could solve this problem a different way by switching the order around. You could also look at the proportion of athletes that are 35 or greater. That's the 120 out of 4,193. And that is about close to 3%, right? So about 3% of athletes are 35 or older. But if we specifically look at the baseball players, adding that condition of baseball players, we see that about 5% of the baseball players are of that age, showing that if you play baseball, you are slightly more likely to be 35 or older compared to all of the group in total. Now, doing it in that order is not wrong. I think it makes more sense to do it this way because you're saying, all right, listen, if I'm an older athlete, am I more likely to be a baseball player in the professional world? And the answer is clearly yes. So you have way more older baseball players than you do in any other sport. But again, giving this nice answer here is really the best way to do it. You have to make sure that you back it up with statistics. You can't just say, oh no, they have nothing to do with each other, so they are mutually exclusive, or they are independent, or no, they're not independent because baseball makes you more likely. You have to have some stats to back it up. And that's why I wanted to bring up the 29% and the 50.4%, because that has it make a lot more sense. We talk about the fact that 29% of all athletes are baseball players, but the moment we give that condition, looking at those that are 35 or older, 50% are baseball players, showing, again, like I said, that if you're 35 or older, you're more likely to be a professional baseball player than football or basketball. All right, and the final question, consider the data of all professional athletes from the two-way table. Determine if it is appropriate to carry out a chi-square test for independence to investigate whether there is an association between age group and sports played using this data. Now, the official scoring rubric has not come out yet, so I'm very curious how they're going to score this question. But I think this is kind of a trick question. I think the answer is no, and here's why. No, because the data represents the population of all professional athletes this particular year. A chi-square test, in fact, any type of significance test, is used taking a random sample or uses a random sample selected from a population to make a judgment about the population that the sample came from. And well, this was not a sample. This was the entire population. So when you have information about the entire population, a test is not needed because you have the parameters. So all of these numbers that we've been working with in the previous parts, A, B, and C, those are parameters. Those are not sample proportions. Those are not p-hats. Those are real probabilities, real population parameters. So we shouldn't need a test in this situation because we have the population data and we've already shown that there is no independence, for example, between baseball and being 35 or older, because we've proven it with the data from the population. It's not like the data was a sample and we need it to help us make a judgment about the population it came from. Now, my guess is most kids are probably going to say, yes, it was a random sample. But again, go back. It never said it was a random sample. This was the population. And kids will say, oh, it's less than 10% of all athletes. Well, wait a minute. No, we're not less than 10% of all athletes because we are literally the entire population of all athletes because this was not a sample. So that condition doesn't even make sense. Now, you could go ahead and say that there are 5 or more expected counts in each category if you were to actually run a chi-square test for independence on this two-way table. And that would be true. But at the same time, it doesn't matter because we're working with the population. So we already know the answer based on the data that we've looked at. We don't need a test to confirm it. All right, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. It was a pretty good problem. Some parts were pretty easy, some parts a little bit tougher, but hopefully overall you did really, really well.